Five of us are here. We have a quorum and then some. We have an official meeting underway. Brings us to recognition and proclamations. Very moving start to the meeting, and very appropriate that we do this recognition. Recognition of Sunshine State Sonar and Recon Dive Recovery for their efforts in finding Robert Heikka's vehicle. Chief.
Good evening. Can you hear me? All right.
Yes, sir.
Assistant Chief Bill Proctor with the Port Orange Police Department. We're here today to recognize the Sunshine State Sonar and Recovery Dive Team that helped us solve missing persons case. From his name was Robert Heikka. Just a quick overview of the case. Several years ago, about 2 years ago, his employer reported him as missing. He hadn't come to work. The investigation became complicated because we didn't know where his last known whereabouts were, so we had to work the case that way. There was no evidence that he returned home or even to the city of Port Orange the evening he went missing. So as the investigation continued, numerous separate investigations led detectives to the areas, including Volusia County, Brevard, Orange County. The sheriff's dive team and other agencies cooperated together and checked countless bodies of water from little retention ponds to large lakes along the path that we thought he had taken. And there was no sign of Robert Heikka or his vehicle. As the second anniversary of Robert Heikka's disappearance approached, we met with Mike Sullivan at Sunshine State Sonar and Recon Dive Recovery. We requested their assistance in the investigation. The company was willing to help, and all their efforts would be free of charge. They worked with POPD for the next several months, searching many places that had already been checked and several new ones. Still, they found no sign of Robert Heikka or his vehicle. Then on April 9th, 2023, Sunshine State Sonar teamed up to continue the search off of State Road 44. Later that afternoon, through their exhaustive efforts, they located Robert Heikka in a small body of water off Pioneer Trail. The body of water where they made the discovery had previously been checked, but the vegetation and narrow dimensions of the small pond did not allow for their tools and their sonar to operate properly. However, the water had receded in April of 23, allowing for the discovery. And during the 7 months Sunshine State Sonar was involved, they conducted approximately 30-mile-long ground search. They conducted sonar searches in more than 70 bodies of water between Orlando and Volusia County. This investigation would not be over if Mike Sullivan, Ken Fleming, John Martin, and the rest of the Sunshine State Sonar and Recon Dive Recovery members had not become involved. They should all be commended for their diligence and outstanding effort that led to the closure of this case and the closure for Robert Heikka's family. So thank you.
This is an incredible effort on the part of a lot of people, and although it had a very sad ending, it had a proper ending where it would have been left wide open. Council, if you'll do me a favor and join me down with the chief as we recognize his people. Chief, if you'll do the honors.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
That's for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And there's your commendation.
Nice. Thank you.
We don't do anything small here.
Yeah, I see that.
Sullivan?
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's me.
That's yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Thank you.
Mr. Fleming?
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I think you were the one that went in the water.
Yes, sir.
Was it cold?
Appreciate you guys. I think we, council, I know you all want to shake your hands just as much as I do. I know we're going to take a picture.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Well done.
Thank you very well. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Michelle, I'll bring those over here, and then Mike can take our picture. Council. Yeah.
I always get seen.
Don't even think about it. He tried. Thank you.
If one of you guys don't mind taking just a couple of minutes to come back up and tell us just a little bit about the organization, because I know a lot of people will be watching this tonight on TV, and I think it'd be beneficial for the community to know a little bit more about what you guys do. I've read some great stuff online, by the way. You guys are awesome, and I'd like for people to
You
be able
want
to
us
hear
to do
that.
that?
Yep, please, if you
would.
would.
Yeah.
And then if people are able to and inclined to do what they can to support you guys, let them know how they can do that as well.
Yes, you want me to speak right here into the mic?
Right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm Mike Sullivan with Sunshine State Sonar, and as the chief said, we teamed up with the detectives from the Port Orange Police. And I'll say one thing, you guys have an amazing police department here, because without your detectives, Ben, Lance, Mike Wallace, Steve Nagy, and those guys, we would have never found them. It's because their willingness to work with our organization. It was a team effort. It took every one of us to find them. So, yeah, and do you want to say something?
Sure. We're 100% volunteer organization. So one of the ways you can help us out is we've got GoFundMe's at Recon Recovery and Sunshine State Sonar. The public can go ahead and volunteer. We never charge the families for our work, and we don't ever want to be a pay for play. We go out there, we volunteer. We were out today from 11:30 till now. We barely got here on time for this.
Yeah.
So we're working
Just made
a case in Orlando today. Again, 100% volunteer. So we've put our time, energy, and treasure into doing what we passionately love to do, which is bring people home to their families that are missing them.
And I think I saw something on a site recently too, where you guys had a discovery of some crazy amount of stolen vehicles
Oh, yeah.
you know,
18 vehicles in 72
18
hours.
and 72 hours, yeah.
in one body of water.
No,
13 in one body.
13, including a box truck that someone had drove in the water. So, and then we found 4. In the last 100 days, we've solved 4 missing person cases. One of them was a 22-year case, a mother that went missing 22 years ago. It was a homicide, and we found her just miles from her home in a retention pond behind a Publix.
And a few days after Mr. Heikka, we saw Robert Helfrey, who's a veteran like myself, 17-year missing case over in the St. Petersburg area.
That was in Pinellas County, and we were working with their detectives as well on that, and that was big. But on the Robert Heikka one, one of the things that we did on that ended up being really the game changer. We had that ground search, and all the bodies of water were searched, on the State Road 44 and Pioneer Trail. This body of water that he was found in, we actually did a ground search. What was it, back in December, John, I think it was?
Back in December, yeah.
And
November.
we're just walking in the woods on the side of the road, and we see this tiny body of water, and this thing's probably
This was like 75 feet off the road.
yeah, and it's off the road, in the trees, in the woods, and you say to yourself, we went there. We didn't actually have our sonar equipment on us that day because it was a ground search, so we didn't bring anything. We seen it, and then it's just like, there's no way there's a car in there. We left, and it was what that
You
day.
had actually magnet searched it as well.
Yeah, we threw all we had on us was a magnet. We tossed it in, and then we had plans to come back, continue our search. And my brother John's like, "Hey, remember that little sliver of water we saw in the woods that day?" I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Let's go back and check." He said, "Let's go back and check that," and we did, and just unbelievable
Wow.
that he was in there. So
The
it was,
water had receded, and sure enough, the roof of the vehicle was sticking out of the water.
yeah.
So one thing I could recommend, if someone could look at it maybe from the county, is there are a lot of straight roads in that area, and that's one sharp S-turn that's supposed to be slowed to 45, maybe some rumble strips and slow it down to 35. There have been 5 previous fatalities in that curve, not in the water, but there were car parts all over the side of the road there. There were 2 memorials, 1 motorcycle, 1 vehicle, so it is a dangerous spot in the county, so maybe the county can look at that as a guardrail spot.
For sure.
Yeah, it's in New Smyrna, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming out, and what
Yeah.
you guys do is it's absolutely amazing, and we wanted to get you guys here and pay recognition for what you guys have done, and make sure people know about what you guys are doing out there, because the stuff that I've read online is nothing short of just absolutely amazing, so.
We
thank you guys
we
very much.
appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys.
Keep
Thank
us
you.
in prayer.
Yes.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
Keep doing what you
Absolutely.
do.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you.